Hello again. After a quick break, we are back with Chapter 3 of Clarice Bean Spells Trouble by Lauren Child. I forgot to say that in the authoress in the last chapter, so I'm sorry, but I said it now. But we're on Chapter 3. You might just as well be bad all the time. And this starts on page 30. Follow along if you have the book. I love it if you do. If not, don't worry, don't stress it. Just sit back, grab some snacks, maybe do a puzzle, grab coloring books, read along, whatever you want, whatever makes you comfortable. Just relax, and I will try to read to you without too many mistakes. Let's get started. Chapter 3, page 30. You might just as well be bad all the time. 3 things happened today. One was that I got a package. It was from my granny. She sometimes just mails things off to us when she sees something that we might like. It doesn't have to be our birthday or anything. There's a note which says, "I thought you would love this." When I unwrap it, I really totally do. It's a Ruby Redford notebook and with a padlock. No one can read anything you write unless they have the key. But you wear the key on a special secret necklace so nosy Parkers will never find it. And they don't even know that it is a secret Ruby Redford notebook because it doesn't say Ruby Redford on the front. It just has a fly on the cover which disappears when you tip it. It's kind of cool. Fancy. It's a typical thing Ruby Redford does. For example, not draw attention to her secret ideas. Inside it has all these Ruby Redford rules and useful facts and things like how to survive in an emergency, or what to do if you are being tailed by an arch-villain, or how to fake being asleep in a realistic way. It's got all these good tips and clever advice, like Ruby's rule of never get on anyone's bad side if you want something from them. It sounds like a simple rule, but it's surprising how many times one can forget this. I decide that I'm going to use my Ruby Redford notebook to write down all sorts of suspicious things I see and interesting things I overhear by accident. Even Betty Moody doesn't have one of these, and when I get to school she says, "Wow, Clarice Bean, you are lucky." Then, the second thing which happens is, Betty gives me a badge that was like a tongue twister. Betty gives me a badge that she has made on her badge maker machine. It says CB on it in a red printing. It stands for Clarice Bean, of course. Betty has one that says BP, which stands for Betty P. It's Betty's middle name. It's just a letter, not a word. She made it up herself. You probably know she got the idea for badges from Ruby Redford, who has a badge on her pants with RR on it, and her friend Clancy Crew has one with CC on it. Hitch doesn't wear a badge because he has a suit and it wouldn't look right with a badge on it. There's their badges. Pretty snazzy. I want a badge making machine. Put all the badges on my overalls. That'd look pretty cool. The third good thing that happened is there's this teacher who arrived at our school. He is from Trinidad on exchange. We have sent them. Mr. Fellows. Why people do exchanges is to learn what it's like to do the same thing you normally do but in a different place. My older sister, Maurice, is on an exchange at the moment in France. What she is learning is French, and what I am learning is you are much more likely to turn in the bathroom if your older sister is in France. Oh, much more likely to get a turn in the bathroom if your older sister is in France. Anyway, our exchange teacher person is named Mr. Something. I'm not sure what it is. He wears sneakers. Everyone is talking about him. And some people are going to get him as their teacher just for a few weeks. Betty and me see him in the corridor, and we go up to him and we say, "Sir, we like your teacher because it has a picture of a swimming dog on it." And I say, "It is exceptionally nice." And he says, "Thanks, CB and BP," which is really funny. We say, "What is your name, sir?" He says, "PW, but you can call me Mr. Washington." We can tell he's a very funny person. He has a different kind of accent because he is from Trinidad. I probably should have given him an accent, but I don't know what Trinidad accent would be, which is Caribbean. I don't know. I'm just kidding. Which is where my aunt named Margreta was from before she met Mom's brother, Uncle Al. And they have my cousins Yola and Noah, and now they live around the corner. And Granddad's favorite sports player is from Trinidad. I hope we get Mr. Washington as our teacher. He seems really nice. I draw a picture of the picture on his t-shirt in my ruby red fur notebook because it's the kind of thing that interests me. Stay cool. After lunch, Mrs. Wilburton says, Mrs. Greenford and I will be conducting auditions for the school play. Mrs. Greenford and I will be conducting auditions for the school play. They will be taking place during lunch break, and anyone who wants a main part must come along. I will not be revealing what play will be until afterwards, because we do not want any silly showing off. I'm really utterly excited, and I'm hoping for a good part this time. Last year, I was a carrot. I had 2 lines, and one of them was, I am a carrot. I had no interest in playing a speaking vegetable. It's not realistic. I don't mind people using their imaginations to come up with strange and unusual things, but this is not interesting because who wants to know what a carrot would say if it could talk? The answer is no one. That's who, because a carrot has spent its whole life underground in the dark, growing into a carrot. And then it gets picked, so it has nothing to say for itself. It has not had an interesting life, even if it has met a worm. Anyway, me and Betty Moody are very excited to know just what the play will turn out to be. We are hoping it will not be one of Mrs. Wilburton has written. She's completely crazy about dance, so absolutely everything has to end up dancing, even if it is a cheese or a wasp. The audition turns out to be really stupid. The auditions turn out to be really stupid. We have to do things like pretend we are trees growing in a forest and then hop around like squirrels and things we have got nothing to do with acting as far as I can see. And I'm just standing there minding my own business, trying to be a stupid squirrel, and Mrs. Wilburton tells me off for absolutely no reason at all. It is utterly dreary and not at all fun in any way. When I get home from school, Mino runs into the kitchen and bumps into the table and knocks over a glass of water, and Mom says, Do you think you two can go and run around in the yard until you have calmed down, please? And I say, I wasn't even calmed up. And she says, it's been a long and tiring day, and I'm just not in the mood for silliness. You see what I mean? You might just as well be bad all the time, because you get in trouble for it anyway. Okay, and that is the end of chapter 3 of Clarice Bean Spells Trouble by Lauren Child. We'll be starting with chapter 4 next time. So I hope to see you guys for the next chapter and future books. So stay cool, like Mr. Washington said, and I will see you guys next time. Thank you guys for joining me. Bye!